Hello, is this Mr. Gambino here with a new stream? And in this stream I'm going to be going over my event week. I'm going to be going over the event week for this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. So, of course, to start off, I kind of apologize for this one being late. There is kind of a reason for it. But I meant to kind of start this a couple hours ago as well. Reason I didn't do this one, like, right when I normally do it, is simply because there's no new content in the game. The vehicle still didn't release for some reason. Don't understand why. For those who are completely, like, unfamiliar with the Event Week vehicles, there's actually one more Event Week vehicle that's set to come out called the Vapid Peyote Gasser. So I don't know if they're just holding on to it just because they can, or if, like, I don't know if there's something, like, really wrong with it, like with the Jester Classic and how there was a lot of stuff wrong with it in the Severn San Andreas Super Sport Series update. So what they did was they pushed that vehicle back to the After Hours DLC and added, like, livery support and whatnot. So for those who didn't know, the Jester Classic was actually meant to come out with a DLC before, which is quite an interesting thing, so I don't know if something like that could happen again. Who knows, they could just randomly be holding it off. I could understand it last week, of course, because they released 2 huge creators, and I think that was enough for an event week. But what's really going on this week for why they wouldn't release a vehicle? Who knows, they might be trying to stall out this current update, I guess, by not releasing the vehicle till a little later. Could be that as well. That's kind of like a couple of my theories is, one, the vehicle could have something majorly wrong with it, I don't know, because I haven't really watched anyone's video on it. All I know is it exists, the Vapid Peyote Gasser. And yeah, what else was I talking about? Shit. Wait, or they could, of course, simply be holding it back for when they actually want to release it. That's a possibility. But like I said, what's the, like, hold up? Like, I understand last week, but nothing's really going on this week. But oh well. Going to have to wait and see what happens with the vehicle, I guess. If somehow there's something actually, like, really wrong with it or anything. Alright, I was checking my audio. Sure it was good. And it is. I'm actually probably going to update my message to Spectator, because I thought I was going to get a good bit fit on there. Because I changed the title format a little bit, considering there's no actual, like, addition in the game. For Red Dead Online, you can kind of be sure that they, like, release at least a single thing of clothing every week, so that's why I still use the term addition for Red Dead Online, plus it gets new legendary bounties. But for GTA Online, if there's, like, no new vehicle or something, it kind of essentially means no new content. Alright, so yeah, I got in my party. And also because I'm late with the stream, I might as well say this now. For those who weren't familiar with my channel, of course, there's a good bit of new people, I would say. Back when the Arena War DLC, when it stopped getting vehicles and whatnot, I started doing the streams like my normal time, like I do with Red Dead Online. Simply because I don't really know a leaker or anything for Red Dead Online. If there really is one, I'm not entirely too sure. So that's why I do those Red Dead Online streams, like, way later than my GTA Online ones, because I'm not as informed ahead of time on those event weeks as I am for this game. So yeah, I'll change my message to Spectator a little bit, try to fit one more thing in there. Alright, I got the message to spectator, the updated one. Barely though. Say I added the 2x money RP VIP working challenges to the message to spectator because I thought it would fit in the title for some reason. So I would spin the wheel, but it's almost on to the next day anyways, so I might as well just wait the 20 more minutes or whatever. Because of course, Rockstar made it to where you have to spin it every 24 hours. You can't just spin it whenever you want in a given day. You have to spin it like at least 24 hours after your last spin, which I think is pretty dumb. It should just be once at any point on a real life day, in my opinion. But speaking of that, it's a good time to go into the casino for the podium vehicle and whatnot. Obviously, you can know what it is from the like newswire and stuff, but for the sake of completeness on the stream, I'm going to be going over it. So yeah, just know for the future if there's like no new additions for the game. Like if there's not the last vehicle that releases pretty much, or any other sort of new content, I'll probably do the stream like way later than I usually do. Just something people may want to keep in mind if they usually check on this channel for when I do these event week streams, because I typically do these like several shit. Oh well, that's just a visitor bonus, I don't care. I can go without 1,000 chips. We have a new podium vehicle for this week's actually a vehicle from this update. And I believe it's the most expensive vehicle actually from this update, being the Krieger, being $2,875,000. So you'll be saving quite a bit of money, almost 2.9 to 3 million, if you get the Krieger for the podium. That's definitely a good bit of money. I could go for the customizations instead. Basically, not having to spend that money would cover the customizations for that vehicle, plus a ton of other vehicles as well. Not entirely too sure on how it performs though, because I haven't really been watching Ruffy 132 recently though. Especially when these vehicles don't really go on discount much. Staying there in the current DLC and whatnot. Oh yeah, I should also bring up something pretty interesting as well. That's apparently happening on December 2nd or something. Apparently Last Gen is losing the ability to upload cinematics and like the leaderboard features, which is pretty interesting. Doesn't mean the online service is necessarily going away anytime soon, considering GTA 4 Online and Red Dead Redemption's Online. Those are still up and running, and those are way older than GTA 5 on the Last Gen. So yeah, a couple like kind of minor features with Last Gen are apparently going away, which credit goes to Tez too, because if he didn't like mention anything about it, I wouldn't have known. So I don't keep up with minor stuff like that. I don't keep much up with every single thing that's on the Rockstar Sports site. So for those who may still use cinematics on the fucking Last Gen and uploads them, you'll unfortunately miss out on that ability on December 2nd, it sounds like. So rip. Almost as sad of a death as the peyote plants, I guess, or removal. No, I'm kidding. It's nowhere near as bad of a removal as the peyote plants, in my opinion. Peyote plants are so short-lived, though, to be honest. But to be fair to Rockstar, it was probably just limited time content with Halloween or something. I think I might have also heard the rumor that apparently there's a glitch with getting like a good bit of RP or something like that with the peyote plants. I don't know if that had something to do with it. Who knows, maybe being able to do explosive bird dumpings as a bird would have to do with it, I don't know. Basically, if you want to see really good footage with the peyote plants, I recommend checking out Project Heterosexuality's channel. In fact, he hasn't really uploaded anything since the peyote plants got taken away, I believe. So maybe his channel will come back in peace, I guess. So I think I'm gonna exit out the casino. I think we're going over the rest of the event week stuff. Obviously, like the money opportunities, including the ones not listed on Message a Spectator. And then discounts, and then like the time trials and stuff. Do also gotta get kinda caught up on my time trial guides for the RC Bandito time trials. I'm almost done with Fuente Blanco one, actually. Only have a little bit of the tech tutorial to do left. Besides for that, with Fuente Blanca, that time trial guide's pretty much completely done, and actually I think I would be caught up then. So I'll start going into some money opportunities here. So I'll start off with adversary modes. Alright, so starting off is hardest target 1 to 7. Basically, there's probably like one person who has like more like armor or something like that, and the rest of your team has to protect. That's one of the 3 adversary modes, I believe. 2 times money RP on that one. And it must also include the missile base and the bunker versions of hardest target, unless only missile base has hardest target. I'll check on that, see if the bunker has the hardest target as well. So yeah, it does include the missile base version of hardest target, which is nice. Because if they really wanted to, they could have only done normal ones. Alright, yeah, bunker does not actually have a hardest target. So there's 8 versions of hardest target, including the missile base version. That's 2 times money RP. And then yeah, power play is going to be another adversary mode. That's 2 times money RP. And it at least has a missile base version. I'll check again to see if there's a bunker version. And then pretty much the last thing is 3 times money RP, obviously, on Motor Wars. Motor Wars 137. They've done that quite a couple times to a few times. In fact, I believe it's actually the original 3 times money RP thing they've done. And for normal power play, there's power play 1 through 6. So now to finally check if there's a bunker version of power play. Because hardest target's exclusive to missile base. Because I'm guessing with the bunker one, it didn't exist back then. Alright. So there's no bunker versions of those actually for power play and then hardest target. So you get all the normal variants of hardest target and power play plus the missile base versions and then 3 times money RP on all the motor wars 1 through 7. So I'll go over the premium race and stuff really quick. I kind of meant to actually do that before we went into the big money opportunities. But yeah, Route 68's the premium race. I don't know if it changed from the start of the event week, because I believe they typically do like 3 premium races in an event week. They used to go in details of all 3 of them, but I don't think they really do anymore. But I think there is like 3 every week. I believe I already know what the RC Bandito time trial is, since I was working on RC Bandito time trial guides recently. I'm trying to find a normal one though. Where's that damn normal time trial, man? Definitely doesn't help now that I have my map icons on again. I had a lot of them hidden before, but I re-enabled them. Reason being is I was working on an episode of Contact Mission content, which isn't planned to be uploaded anytime soon, but it kind of requires actually having those on, which is kind of weird. Because they're pretty restrictive contact missions, actually. At least for current gen, not so much last gen. Alright, I'll kind of have to go through here now. I'm struggling to find it. Oh, here it is. Ratton Canyon. I believe Ratton Canyon's an average difficulty one. So it's not like too easy, but it's not like too difficult either, I would say. Oh yeah, I forgot to go into the time trial, but I think it's a Little Seoul Park if I remember. Alright, yeah, Little Seoul Park. Part time, 1:10. And hopefully this one I can get recorded during the event week with my guide, since I am almost done with my La Fuente Blanca. Just have to work a little more on the text tutorial, and then it's done, so I could actually get it uploaded a little bit after the stream. And then yeah, going into the big money opportunities for this week. There's double rewards on business battles, so of course that's 2 times money RP. I believe you might normally get like 20,000 every single business battle thing you deliver. So I guess you would get like 40,000 if you deliver a whole thing of business battles now. And that's in addition to your nightclub money that you get as well. So that's quite nice. So there's actually a really good strategy with business battles, believe it or not. Basically, you will want to be in an invite-only session, because you do get business battles and invite-only sessions. You just need a certain amount of players for it. And I believe you need at least 3 players, you and 2 other people at minimum. And then none of you can be in like apartment going like AFK or anything. So you will need 3 like active people on the like map, not like just in a property, in order for business battles to trigger at its minimum capability. And then I think you might also have to be in like different CEOs, or at least not in the same CEO. Like, it could be 2 people not being a CEO. But if you and your 2 friends are in like the same CEO, I don't think it will work. So I think basically needs to be 3 people out on the map, not in their like apartments, kind of doing their own thing, for business battles to spawn at its minimum capability. Doing that, you can basically have like a invite-only session already dedicated to farming out business battles. And obviously the ones where you have to pick up separate things for your business battle, you can split with your friends or a friend. However, if it's a vehicle, you can actually blow it up and then it will turn into two things as well if you want to share with your friends. If you do that invite-only strategy. That's a really good strategy for getting business battles. In fact, it's also very good to combine with the VIP work and challenges, or at least the VIP work. Challenges you'll need at least 1 other person on your organization, of course. But still, you can have a little more than the 3-player minimum, and an invite only in order to trigger business battles. So hopefully I explained the business battle strategy good enough, because I'm not too good at explaining things sometimes. That's a good strategy with the business battles. The business battles are definitely some of the most like potential in terms of making money for this week. Like if you literally just want to focus on business battles like every 15 minutes or however often they spawn, you could do that using the strategy I mentioned. And VIP/CEO work and challenges are also 2 times money RP. I might go into a little more specifics with the good ones to do in a little bit, but I'll kind of go into it a little now, I guess. So for VIP work, there's Cloud, which of course requires the Phantom Wedge. I would say it's above average for the Cloud VIP work. I would say it's one of the best paying ones. Bad thing about it though is it's not a really easy way to end it really early, because taking longer basically just gets you up to like an extra like 5k or like possibly 10k because of the double money now, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's above average I would say for VIP works you should do. Fully loaded, I don't really recommend fully loaded. I believe you can make like 20,000, maybe 40,000 actually with the double money. But you can make that same money through a headhunter or a sightseer. So going around the map for like about 20 minutes, if you would actually need all the time to destroy all 10 vehicles with the fully loaded Ruiner, it's not really a good time investment. In those 20 minutes, you could have done like a couple to a few like headhunters and like sightseers or something like that. So even when it's normal money, I don't really recommend it either. It's only really good for fighting off griefers, I would say. And unfortunately, the other way around. And then the amphibious assault one with the technical Aqua. I'm actually not too familiar with this one. I don't know if I've actually ever done it before, hence the star on there. Unless that's glitched on there and I actually have done it before. I believe it basically involves you like going in technical aquas and collecting like packages or something. Not entirely too sure. There might be ways to use different vehicles that could get that one done faster, but it does, of course, require more than just yourself, which is kind of a negative on it. As well, there's a lot better ones to go for, I would say, as well. Like, you wouldn't even have to include this one. There's, like, more than enough, like, good ones that you can do solo that are good for money. They're probably better than this. Also, I should mention, Plowed and Fully Loaded are going to have an hour cooldown every single time you do them. Not sure on Amphibious Assault. It could be half hour, or it could be less or something. It could be 45 minutes, I don't know. It's probably either a half hour or an hour wait in real time, which is more than the typical VIP work. Basically any of their special vehicle VIP works, they have longer cooldowns. On the transporter, if you want like a kind of fun one to do that, it's basically just going point A to point B and not getting shot up, and not letting the vehicle get shot up all that well. Transporter is a pretty good one to do. However, I'm pretty sure it pays pretty much the same amount as a headhunter or sightseer. So it all depends on if you're faster on headhunter or sightseer. If this is going to be worth it in your opinion, I would imagine. So I would say this one's average in terms of where you should prioritize it. So far I would avoid Fully Loaded and possibly Amphibious Assault. Though unfortunately I don't really have much of an opinion on this one, since I might have not even done it, to be honest. Though I doubt it's one of the best ones, Amphibious Assault. Especially because it's the one with the technical aqua of all special vehicles. On to Fortified. That one uses the armored box bill. Now the thing about Fortified is you have a minimum time in order for it to be done. So it's guaranteed to take 15 minutes every single time or something like that. However, at the same time, it only has a half-hour cooldown. So basically every 45 minutes you can start one up. Same thing I believe goes for Velocity. It works the same way as Fortified, where it's basically a 15-minute mission. It's basically a 15-minute VIP work. And then once you get it done, it's a half-hour cooldown rather than that hour like with Plowed and Fully Loaded, for example. Also, I think Transporter is also a half-hour in terms of its wait time. So for paying 40,000, it has a longer cooldown than Headhunter. So you might kind of want to alternate Transporter with Headhunter and Sightseer if you really want to. Yeah, Fortified, you go in Armored Boxville and survive until the time runs out. I'll get out of that menu really quick, because I want to show a really good location for it. So somewhere around this Los Santos Customs here is a spawn for the Armored Boxville for the Fortified VIP work. So you'll want to be around this Los Santos Customs every time you start it up. So that spawns it like somewhere around here or something like that. Doing so, you can easily go to a very good spot in order to survive with the Armored Boxville. And then somewhere like around here or like here or something, there's a way into the storm drain. You want to go in the storm drain. And then somewhere on the left side of the storm drain, you can go to an area which will take you underground. And you'll basically want to camp in that area underground for the 14 to 15-ish minutes. Probably want to give yourself a whole minute or half hour to get out of there. But also be careful of like the trams, of course, as well. If I decided to play some VIP work on the stream, I might go more in details with it. But yeah, last time there was Towns Money VIP work, I was really doing the Armored Boxville one. It was one of my favorite ones, actually. It just might not be the most beneficial one to do, considering you have a 15-minute time limit in order for it to be done. And then you have to wait another half hour in order to start up again. So basically every single, like, 3 hours. Yeah, every single 3 hours if you're, doing Fortified as efficient as possible, you'll be getting, like, $280,000. Yeah, $280,000 for 3 hours of work. However, of course, during the half-hour cooldowns, of course, you'll want to go for other VIP works. So you could definitely go for Fortified very well. Honestly, I would probably put this one in high priority, as long as you balance it with other VIP work, which you'll probably do anyways. But if you want to pretty much just focus on Fortified for some reason, I would say it's above average. Or almost average. Yeah, same thing with Velocity. However, this one's a lot more interesting. Of course, you stay at top speed until the time runs out. This one might only last 10 minutes instead of 15 minutes, if I remember. I got my Rocket Voltic actually to Event Week that last had Double Money RP VIP work. So I only played it like one time. But yeah, it does work very similar to Fortified with how there's like a guaranteed time limit that you'll have to take minimum. And then there's a half-hour cooldown as well, I'm pretty sure. However, the good thing about Velocity is if you have more than just yourself, if you have at least another person in your CO, I believe the way Velocity works is there's like air checkpoints or something that someone can get in like a helicopter or airplane, of course. And every time someone collects an air checkpoint in your CO, when you're doing Velocity, it like reduces the time by like 10 seconds or something every single time. So it might be pretty worth having another player when you're doing Velocity. So between those two, since they're so similar, for solo play I recommend Fortified. Also, the strategy that I mentioned with Fortified can be done in public lobbies as well, of course. Going into the storm drain makes it very hard for other players to find you. Though you really shouldn't be doing VIP work in public lobbies, since only one can be done at a time. So if someone else is doing one, you'll have to wait. So if you're doing this, and I would even put business battles, you'll want to have invite-only lobby. For business battles, though, you'll want at least 3 people doing like their own thing that are outside of a property for business battles to spawn, like I mentioned earlier. So of course you can go back to earlier in the stream for more details. And then ramped up. This one's the ramped buggy. This one's the ramp buggy VIP work. And this one you're meant to like launch motorcycles up with the ramp buggy in order to collect like packages or like checkpoints on like roofs of like buildings and whatnot. However, there's a much better way to do that. And a better way to do ramped up is to just use an Impressor Mark II since it's a flying motorcycle, so you don't need to use the ramp buggy. So one person could literally just camp in the ramp buggy, while another person goes in their Impressor Mark II and collects all the checkpoints, rather than launching like a dirt bike or something up with the ramp buggy. And I believe it pays pretty good as well. So I would say this one's above average, or possibly average as well, since I don't know if it pays anywhere near as well if you do the Mark II strategy. Also, I'm not sure on the cooldown for this one. This one might be an hour, like, fully loaded and plowed. And then stockpiling. You collect cargo crates on the land and sea with the Blazer Aqua. I believe this one pays pretty good, but the effort for doing it and collecting all the different ones is pretty much as tedious as fully loaded. So I just lightly recommend it above fully loaded. I don't play that one that much, but I definitely don't think it's a really good one from my knowledge. Headhunter, of course, it's one of the couple like most basic VIP works where you assassinate all the targets before the time runs out. You can do that one like a couple minutes each time, and it's like 40,000 with double money. So I would say Headhunter is almost top priority. So above average to like as high as it can get. I might go back to these two because I'm not entirely sure what they are. Hostile takeover. Of course, you retrieve a package from a high security area and deliver it to the drop-off location. This one can kind of be annoying if you die to the cops though, because I believe your one level sticks until the VIP work ends. But yeah, I would say it's kind of a lesser version of Headhunter, which is tied to whatever certain location you pick. So I would say this is average to below average. Asset recovery, steal one or more vehicles from a police station and deliver them to the drop-off location. Honestly, I just wouldn't even really bother with that one. It's taking a couple of vehicles basically from point A to point B with a 1 level, most definitely. And from what I recall, asset recovery doesn't really even pay that well. And then Sightseer. It's another like point A to point B thing, kind of. But you have to do like 3 times to collect 3 different packages. However, it only takes like a couple to a few minutes, I would say, if you have the right like transportation option. Or options, I should say, since there's a good bit of them that work very well. So I'll put it like right underneath Headhunter. It's one of the better ones you could choose from. And then Piracy Prevention. That's the one on the yacht, of course. And that one gives like 30,000. However, it is just like the Armored Boxville one, and it's just like the Armored Boxville and the Velocity one, where you have like 10 to 15 minutes that you have to like do the VIP work at like maximum time. So you can't really accelerate the process of Piracy Prevention. It'll basically always take the full 10 minutes. Similar to Fortified and Velocity. Though like I said with Velocity, if you have another player in your organization, I believe there's air checkpoints you can collect, and you can gradually decrease time on Velocity. So I would say that probably actually makes Velocity the best one of the three that work like that. And actually on Double Money Piracy Prevention, 60,000, 30,000 I listed as normal money. And if I didn't say, Sightseer pays pretty much the same as Headhunter. So I might go back to a couple of the ones that I wasn't too sure on. Alright, Air Freight. Air Freight. I believe this one involves the like cargo bob, and it involves the like stealing a container or something like that. Of course, it requires you to be in a public lobby, or at least a lobby with. Well, no, it only requires another person in your organization, I guess, or I guess someone outside of it, maybe. I don't know. It's either like 2 players minimum for a CEO. Or you have to have someone that can actually damage your thing or whatever. But yeah, don't really recommend air freight from what I remember. And the reason is, I believe, is because the container can be damaged and then you'll lose money when it comes to the final payment from the VIP work. So you can actually lose money on the air freight one. Compared to other VIP work, where as long as you do it successfully, you don't really lose any money. Haulage. So haulage involves like taking like a trailer or something. So of course a couple good options for that one is the Phantom Wedge, because you can move vehicles out your way, which therefore would make it easier to get to point A to point B. And then there's also the Hauler and like Phantom Custom for a couple more good options as well. Hauler Custom, I believe, is more like generally armored, whereas the Phantom Wedge might have more like bullet resistant windows, kind of, compared to the Hauler Custom. But yeah, I would at least say it's average, possibly above average, or below average as well. Yeah, I just really don't recommend air freight with the description I gave. And a couple more to go over. I'll probably only do this big like guide one time, by the way, because I would rather like do that as a video at some point. Not sure when. But yeah, Executive Deathmatch. Of course, it requires you to basically go against another CEO, and whoever gets like the most kills in the organization basically wins. So since it's a PvP focused one, I wouldn't really do it. It's basically just a waste of time, I would say. You might just piss off a couple people in the lobby, kind of. If you get in other organization's way, I mean. In a sense, at least. So that would be another one I just wouldn't really do. And then executive search. This one requires at least another person outside of your organization. Pretty positive it can be done by yourself. Yeah, pretty positive you can do it yourself, you just need another person in your lobby. And there's actually a good strategy I have for executive search. Maybe a couple. So of course there's the like stealth vehicles in the game. I don't know if they hide your location during executive search, but if they do, there's the Akula and then there's the Ultralight. Ultralight, that one goes in stealth if you have like the correct propeller modification and if you don't really accelerate, or if you only like do minimum acceleration with the right trigger. Akula of course has a dedicated stealth mode, but there's another good strategy I would say. So over here, I believe you can glitch out the RC Bandito, and then you'll be able to get the interaction menu to work with the RC Bandito. Because if you don't know, normally you can't use the interaction menu with the RC Bandito. But there's some like, I don't know, there's some like walkway or something that you can drive onto with your RC Bandito, which somehow glitches out the interaction menu to where you can use it with the RC Bandito. And then you can actually do executive search with the RC Bandito. And I believe I was told I was actually off radar when I was doing that as well. So you are indeed off radar with the RC Bandito. As long as you move at least, I'm not sure. Because you're in the RC Bandito and you can glitch up the interaction menu to start up executive search, it might mean you're basically permanently unavailable on the map for executive search while it goes. Though I would say it's kind of a little annoying to do with the RC Bandito as well. And people can easily find you if they use like a vehicle with like lock on, because then it can lock onto your RC Bandito. There's this actually like, I believe this person actually appeared on like Professional's top 10 like Griefer fails. It was that like Miyagi person or whatever. And I was doing it against that person just to see if that person could find me every single time. And yeah, with his Akula, he was eventually able to find me with the like vehicle missiles. So if you do it right with the RC Bandito, glitching the interaction menu so it can work, then yeah, that's a very good strategy then for executive search. I believe that's it. Yep, I went over all 17 VIP works. But yeah, I would put this at below average for executive search. I don't really see much of the point in it because you are limited to a time limit if you don't fail it, of course. So that's kind of my little guides on all 17 of the VIP works in terms of summarizing them. And then, yeah, there's 2 times money, bodyguard, and associate salaries. So, of course, normally the maximum salary is $10,000. The $10,000 is the minimum salary, actually, for this event week. Because double of the minimum, 5,000 is 10,000. And then the maximum 10,000 turns into 20,000. So of course it's nice, but it takes a good bit to build up your associate and bodyguard salary to the maximum amount. So still, it's not a very viable strategy much to help out people. Unless of course you're doing it to be a kind person to someone or something, I don't know. So that was basically it for money opportunities. So I would prioritize 2 times money in RP on the VIP work and challenges. If for some reason you only focus on like a couple and they both have like cooldowns, then I would do the business battles. If you don't want to do VIP work and challenges, I then recommend doing the business battles, because you can set up a great business battle lobby, because you can do them in invite onlys. You just need a minimum of 3 people, each in their own organizations, or not in an organization at all. And then also, if you're going to do the minimum of 3 people in a lobby, they all need to be outside their apartment. So basically the requirement for them appearing is contingent on the amount of people that are outside their apartments. For those who didn't know how business battles like work for their like requirement of showing up. But yeah, I did go into more details on that earlier in the stream. So I would just pick or choose between the VIP work or challenges, since they can essentially make the same amount of money, except when you're waiting a while each time for business battles. So yeah, I'd still prioritize VIP work and challenges. But if you want a nice change, set up a like business battle lobby with a couple of your friends, doing what I've mentioned. And then last but not least, I would recommend helping people out with their stuff as a CEO. If you do the right things, you still get paid more as like a prospect of an MC. So to be fair, there's not really much of a point for the bodyguard and associate salary increase, but of course it's still nice. And then the adversary modes. I'll just ignore the adversary modes unless you're bored of the other opportunities for some reason. Which, when they're so good for making money, I don't know how you would though. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much through the money opportunities. So I think it's pretty much just discounts then. Alright, yeah, there's only discounts left to cover. So for this event week, there's a really huge Pegasi sale going on right now. However, I want to go into properties first. Alright, so every single property thing basically has to do with the office for this week. So there's 40% off of executive offices. Mine is half off though, considering that I have Twitch Prime, so it's half off instead of 40%. And then the renovations of the executive office are also 40% off. And then, yeah, executive office garages are 40% off, as well as their add-ons and renovations. So that would possibly include the custom auto shop as well, I'm assuming. And then also I'd have to go on the office computer in order to show this one off, and I don't think you can even do that in invite only. But special cargo warehouses. Of course, the warehouses with the original business of the game are 50% off, or 60% off of Twitch Prime. And then a random discount of all liveries is 40% off, or 50% off for Twitch Prime this week. And then, yeah, pretty much it's Pegasi vehicles for the theme of the discounts for vehicles. Alright, there does not appear to be any discounts for Arena War. Alright, there is a single discount, it seems, on Benny's. And it's the Pegasi Fucker 1000. It's the Pegasi FCR 1000, or you could basically call it Fucker 1000. I believe the acronym, like FCR in this case, does mean fucker. It's one of Rockstar's crude veins of humor. So I believe the Fucker 1000 is a new vehicle technically in this game, but it's based off of a vehicle from San Andreas, which was the FCR, like, I don't know, 500 or something, I'm not too sure. I believe basically just a number of it changed on GTA Online, of course. But yeah, of course, with it being on Benny's, the main thing with the Fucker 1000 is going to be the customizations, of course. As for its like lap time and top speed, I would at least presume it's like average in class. But still, there's so many better options to choose from, so I wouldn't really go for lap time or top speed. If you're going to get this, you should basically know when you're getting it, it's going to mainly specialize in customizations. And yeah, like I said, it's also a nice kind of retro vehicle from San Andreas. It's kind of its own version in this game, though. And then the Fucker 1000 motorcycle from earlier is 35% off, or 45% off if you're Twitch Prime. And it says both variants, so I believe it includes the custom version. So the upgrade price for the custom version should also be 35 or 45% off. So that was it for Benny's. Nothing in Elitist. That means Legendary's next. So I guess I'll go into the Krieger. Yeah, I guess I'll go into the Krieger a little bit since it's the podium vehicle. But yeah, with it being one of the most expensive vehicles of the update, in fact, I believe it's actually the most expensive vehicle in the update. And of course, it's like a supercar. It's probably pretty much bound to be a very good vehicle in the class for a lap time and top speed, I would imagine. So it's probably a very good option. Don't refer to Bruffy1322 on that one, since I don't think I've watched his video on the Krieger yet. So definitely go off of Bruffy1322 for that, and every other vehicle you might have more questions on. Alright, now some assets kind of on my way. So yeah, that's the first discount on this site. Krieger's just a podium vehicle, so I figured I would go into it a little bit. So yeah, starting off on this site, there's the Pegassi Toros, which is also 35% off. Alright, in fact, every single vehicle discount aside for Twitch Prime is 35% off or 45% off for Twitch Prime. So I'll just end it there. But yeah, the Toros, I believe, is actually pretty much the #1 for lap time and top speed for SUV class. So it's basically the best SUV you could go for in the game. Or at least it was until the Novik came out. I don't know though if the Novik's better or yeah, I don't know if the Novik's better than it or not though for a lap time or top speed at all. I would assume the Toros is still #1 for a lap time and top speed though, considering it's literally a Lamborghini SUV, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, if you do SUV races, it's going to be very great to get one, I would say, and it's very affordable, even more so this week. Alright, Pegassi Tesseract. Of course, it's an electric vehicle, so it's going to pretty much prioritize in top speed. Not entirely too sure how its lap time is. But for being one of the most expensive vehicles in the game, I would assume its lap time would have to be pretty good as well. Unless for some reason they absolutely botched the vehicle. So yeah, if you do a lot of like races with straightaways, of course, it would be good to get that. But it's probably not the best option anymore, I would think. Though I'm not too sure it could be #1 in top speed, I don't know. Of course, refer to Bruffy1322 if you want to know. Alright, the Pegassi Torero. I believe this one's actually like a version of the Infernus. Yeah, I don't know, this might be like a San Andreas version of the Infernus or something. I believe it's kind of a classic vehicle, like the Cheetah Classic and Turismo Classic and whatnot. Except I believe they gave it a unique name when they put it into this game. But yeah, I think it is a version of a certain vehicle. Well, in fact, the Turismo Classic, I believe, is the San Andreas version. So this could be the Vice City version of the Turismo. Just with a like, completely different name or something. Not too sure, but I believe it is a retro vehicle from one of the previous games. This just has a different name in this game. Regardless, though, I would imagine it's gotta be pretty high up in the sports classic class, because a lot of these classic vehicles are actually pretty high up in the sports classic class from what I recall. And then for top speed, I'm not entirely too sure, so refer to Broughy 1322. The Pegassi Infernus Classic. I believe this is the Vice City version of the Infernus. So that's definitely pretty nice. And then once again, just like this, because these like classic vehicles are kind of like supercars in a sense, but are put in the sports classic class, makes them some of the best options. Makes them some of the best options in the class, I'm very sure. And for top speed, I'm not too sure. So their top speeds might be pretty comparable as well. As for the Pegassi Tempesta, I believe for the price it's pretty affordable. I mean, yeah, as for the price it's pretty affordable for what you get. I believe it performs like average for the price. So it's in the 1 mil, kind of early 1 mil, in terms of its price. In fact, it's under $1 million for this event week, which is quite nice. And you're probably in a vehicle that's average in lap time, possibly, and then maybe a little better than that for top speed. But of course, for the Broughy 1322. The Pegassi Reaper. Basically, I believe the Tempesta is basically the successor in a sense to the Reaper, kind of. I don't know, they both look pretty similar, I would say. They're both very similar looking vehicles. But yeah, I believe the Tempesta actually performs better than the Reaper, at least for a lap time. Top speed, not sure on though. This is probably very comparable to the Tempesta. And then the Reaper was a Twitch Prime discount quite a while ago, so if you are Twitch Prime, you might have already got one of these. Just something I should mention. Alright, so Pegassi Osiris. One of the last good vehicles from the last gen, so it's pretty outclassed for this version of the game. Or for previous versions of the game. Still very good in that one. And it's one with gull-wing doors. Not very sure on this one, because it's one from way back. So I'll refer to Broughy 1322. And then the Pegassi Zentorno. This one has really stood the test of times very well, actually. Still very good for being released way back in 2014. Very affordable. I believe it might be top 10 territory, maybe top 15 territory still for a lap time. And then top speed, not too sure on that one. But of course, refer to Broughy 1322 for a more accurate measure on the Zentorno. I'm just giving my personal opinions on these vehicles. And this one's just a glitched discount, it's not actually on sale. But yeah, we have a couple interesting ones here. Being the Pegassi Monroe and the Pegassi Vaca. So the Pegassi Monroe, it's a little under 500,000, but for the spent week, it's a little over 250,000. I believe it's a sports classic, I believe. But still, it's one of the very original sport classic vehicles. So I definitely say it's very outclassed, probably for both lap time and top speed. Kind of same thing with the Vaca. It's not like the original, like, supercars. I believe it's a supercar, so I believe it's kind of one of the worst supercars in the game. In terms of lap time, at least, and then top speed, not too sure on. So once again, for Bruffy 1322. Oh wow, even the original Infernus. So of course, instead of being a little under 450,000, it's a little under 250,000. And of course, it's the original Infernus for this game. But yeah, I would say it pretty much suffered the same fate as the Vaca, I would say. Where of course, with it being one of the very original, like, supercars in the game, surely it's probably very outclassed for lap time and top speed, since there's so many in the class compared to day one of the game. Alright, so this might be the only discount that's not Pegassi, and it's for Twitch Prime, and it's 60% off of the Terabyte. Now, this one's only for the actual, like, full price of the Terabyte. It's not any of the renovations. So yeah, for a base price of the Terabyte, you're getting 60% off. For Twitch Prime, I feel they really should have done 60% off across the board for the Terabyte. But it's whatever. Obviously, it's got good, like, interior customization. Customizations on its exterior, though, are pretty much non-existent. And then the turret station. It's basically a missile launcher on it. However, I don't necessarily think it's a really good missile launcher, though. It's kind of just used for fun. It's not, like, all that, like, useful. The turret station. Drone station, of course, in certain PvP situations, it can be pretty good. And also, you actually do need the drone station in order to get a couple of the good, like, VIP works. Target data, and then, well, I'm not sure. I think it's target data and, like, the one where you go to Evangelical Jewelry Store that you unlock with the drone station. Or basically, you unlock the 2 client jobs that take place at the Evangelical Jewelry Store and then the Life Invader office by buying a drone station. So I definitely recommend the drone station on this at least. Weapon Workshop. You can pretty much get one on the Mobile Operations Center or the Avenger, or you can get one in your Arena Workshop now, I believe, as well. Which might be the most affordable option because it's not tied beyond like a vehicle paywall, just a property paywall like other ones. Unlike other weapon workshops, that required a property and a vehicle paywall. So you don't really necessarily need a weapon workshop in this unless you're going for like completeness of your customization. And then obviously a specialized workshop is the only way to customize the Oppressor Mark II. So obviously you want a specialized workshop, especially if you're going for an Oppressor Mark II. If you don't already have one, since so many people probably do. So between the customizations, the drone station, and the specialized workshop are the ones to go for. And the drone station, I only stay for that one because it unlocks a couple of the client jobs. But in terms of making money this week, unfortunately, the Terabyte's not really going to get you making a lot of money, like double money, I mean, for this week. Obviously, client jobs are a little bit of a superior version of VIP work, but there's no bonuses going on with the Terabyte except 2 times bodyguard and associate salaries when working with another CEO. So it's not really going to be making you any double money this week. Unfortunately, even though it's a Pegasi vehicle, the Oppressor Mark II is not on discount this week. So once again, it's not going to be very good for the... So it doesn't really go along all that well with the 60% off the Terabyte for Twitch Prime. But yeah, the Pegasi Oppressor, the original Oppressor, is on discount, 35% off as well. Like I said, every vehicle discount is 35% off this week, or 45% off for Twitch Prime. So obviously when it comes to the Mark II, it's not all that superior, but it's still superior when it comes to getting around the map, I would say. The Oppressor and the Oppressor Mark II are better for getting around the map in different circumstances. The Oppressor is better for like top speed, of course, and being able to spam the boost as quickly as possible. Whereas the Mark II, you have to wait like a lot longer for the boost in order to recharge. Though obviously it's not a hover bike like the Mark II, so it's a lot more of a risk-reward type of vehicle for the Oppressor, the original one. And then of course has boring like machine guns, that boring pea shooter. He has boring pea shooter machine guns that don't really do anything in terms of damage, honestly. Pretty sure even a civilian vehicle can take a good bit of machine gun bullets from the Oppressor. And then it has 20 regular missiles, unlike the Mark II, which has almost next to the best homing missiles. So obviously its homing missiles are way less superior than the Mark II. But still, I would definitely highly recommend this if you don't have it already. Certain pickups are not actually on discount, by the way, that's a glitch. And same goes for the Buzzard. And it seems there's actually only one last discount. Obviously, I might as well check this one really quick. That's just a visual glitch, and there's nothing on Doctees. And the last discount's like at the way bottom of this website. All those are visual glitches. Same with those, so they're not actually on discount. When will you fix that, Rockstar? So, both variants of the Body 801 are on discount. Alright, obviously right off the bat, you're not really saving that much money, so even without an event week, both of these are really good to go for. And then I'm pretty sure they perform exactly the same, just the 801RR is a livery version of it, while the normal 801, of course, lets you have a lot more customization with like respray. And it's like top 2 or top 3. It's like top 2 or top 3 for motorcycles. I'm pretty sure that's for both lap time and top speed, by the way. Compared to the Akuma, though, I believe the Akuma might be a little better in top speed compared to the Body 801, while the Body 801, while the Body 801, I guess, prioritizes more in lap time, but it's such a small difference, it's still, like, pretty much able to be top 3 in terms of motorcycles, and especially with it being very affordable. I believe it's basically the best option for a cheap motorcycle. It also does really good in races. You technically don't really need the Hakuchou Drag or the Shotaro if you don't really want to. So yeah, 801 is a very great option.
It's LJT with some bad news.
So that's it for discounts. I'll check a little on my stream. Oh, someone liked it, okay. I got another sub apparently. Oh my god, my sub's name is Fortnite Ended, what the fuck? Damn, that's funny. If only it actually ended. So yeah, I'll do a little bit of grinding when it comes to VIP work. Ah, shit. I thought it was going to be my Mark II. But that's right, though. I customized my coil Cyclone from Twitch Prime. It's actually very easy to customize the Cyclone. There was no transmission or turbo, so that saved like 90,000. And then I still gotta customize my Nero and Nero Custom, so I might try to make enough money to do that for this great event week. I'd say this would probably be one of the best ones we've had in like a few weeks. But yeah, so I don't have to pay my utilities for if I go into my MC. Yeah, if I go into my MC, I would have to pay 30,000. Since it's been so long in no lobby, so I decided to go another invite only. So I won't get charged 30,000 for going into MC for business fees for having like everything maxed out. And now it's now it's Friday, so I'll spin the lucky wheel. Would be cool to get the vehicle on stream, but never happens. And whenever it's even close to doing it, I'm always like one away from getting it and get fucking RP instead. I still only collect my visitor bonus early, but I don't really care about that one. Let me just verify
In
though.
a town that redefines itself every year until it's an erotic mess.
Oh no way, it just happened. Fuck. It just said it usually doesn't happen on stream. In fact, I don't think I've ever got it on stream, any of the podium vehicles. But I got it. Hell yeah. That's about 2.9 mil saved. Holy shit. I just got the most expensive vehicle from this update for free. Fruit Casino Wheel. The lucky wheel, of course. Ah man, I got lucky as fuck there. Ah, I meant to put in my... I accidentally sent it to Office Garage free, I believe. I meant to send it. Yeah, I meant to send it to my penthouse garage. And actually, speaking of the podium vehicle, I haven't actually got one in like a long time. Since I typically only do it like 3 to 4 times a week. I try to do it every day, but I typically slack off a couple of the days or something. So I typically do like 3 to 4, maybe 5 days a week for the lucky wheel. Yeah, my first spin this week with the new podium vehicle, I got it. And I'm glad because it's the most expensive vehicle in this update, actually. But yeah, I meant to send it to my casino penthouse garage, so I'll drop it off over there, I guess. Since anything I want for the podium I want to do. Yeah, anything I want for the podium I want in my penthouse garage. Whereas like my Twitch Prime stuff goes here now, because I don't really even know where to put that stuff, to be honest. Oh man, I can't believe I fucking got it though. I don't even remember the last time I fucking actually got a podium vehicle. Oh yeah, and then last week for the podium vehicle, only really spun the wheel like 1 time. I think I only spun the vehicle like, I think I only spun the wheel like 1 or 2 times last event week. Because it was the Stromberg, and that's like the only one I ever had through the podium vehicle. And obviously it's like the only like military vehicle that was basically put in the podium. I don't really get much in this game besides for stuff that actually helps in the game. And I don't really race because it's not fun to lose most of the times in my opinion. Though I don't know, maybe I should start racing again since I have Twitch Prime. I've had Twitch Prime for a while. And now I have a lot better vehicles thanks to Twitch Prime. I could probably do much better on races now. But still, I'd rather do things where I can use my like weaponized stuff. Yeah, it's basically all my podium vehicles, I'm pretty sure. That's like my fourth one, I guess. So yeah, I got the Jester Classic, the terrible Typon. I actually got the Mamba, which I'm actually pretty thankful for. I actually still gotta customize it too, I'm pretty sure. I actually forgot about my Mamba. And then now the Krieger. Hell yeah. Swear to, I really gotta make more of an expensive lifestyle in this game though. With Twitch Prime. I just really wish I had the time to play this game a lot, but I kinda don't. So I might grind for like half hour on the game, and then end the stream.
Hey Rocco, this state is so fucking rough. I had to learn
Oh yeah, I almost want to mention this stupid Twitter drama that went on today. Which it was on like Twitter basically. Though I don't really promote it, because I don't really put those links in my descriptions anymore. Don't entirely know why. I'm talking about videos, because I don't ever put stuff in the stream descriptions. I think I'm gonna do Velocity, actually. Alright, it's 10 minutes. That Velocity lasts. Hey, I guess I'll go into what happened on Twitter, I guess. So, what was of course? So of course I was making a tweet on Tez2's Twitter, because he mentioned something actually about like Snapmatic and like leaderboards going away for last gen, which I kind of mentioned earlier actually on the live stream. Apparently the ability to upload Snapmatics and leaderboards will be going away on last gen on December 2nd. That's pretty close. I don't entirely know why exactly they're doing that. Considering you have GTA 4 online and then like Red Dead Redemption's online. Those are still like completely running as far as I know. I don't know why they're like getting rid of small features for GTA Online on last gen. Oh well, can't say it's not like, I don't know, can't say like it's not, can't say it's not like wrong or anything. But anyways, I tweeted on that. I was making a joke saying it was Savard and peyote plants leaving the game, which obviously is not. Peyote plants are way bigger than uploading on Snapmatic through last gen, which is pretty much dead anyways, kind of. Like, if people want to call this game a dead game, just focus on the last gen. I don't see how people claim the current gen is dead for this game, because clearly it's not. In fact, I would say this is one of the longest, if not like the longest, like, lasting game that's pretty much been made, I would say. Seriously, it's like one of the few games that gets like constant updates, like almost several years later. In fact, it's been over 6 years, so actually it's been several years. So all those people who say the game's like dead for some reason, it's clearly not. Yeah, aside from my joke about saying that Snapmatic's going away was worse than the peyote plants, I'm kind of trying to think of it right now. But yeah, I was also bringing up that I also said like last gen. I was like also last gen laughs and remote events that are better than current gens, such as the aircraft takedowns and armored trucks. Yeah, cause last gen still has like all those good fucking remote events. Remote events, DLC brought a bunch of boring ones in my opinion. Yeah, there's like criminal damage and like Hunt the Beast, but they're nowhere near as fun as like armored trucks and like aircraft takedowns. And then some dude commented on my like reply to my tweet or something, being like, have you even played last gen? It's full of modders and low or something. So okay, maybe I overreacted to the person's reply. If I was like, are you actually trying to insult my intelligence? Because literally, my tweet had nothing, like, reply had nothing to do with modders and GTA Online. So I took it as a dude trying to discredit what I was saying with how last gen is better remote events. So then yeah, I tweeted that. Then some other dude comes on there and replies, saying I was getting all cocky and shit. Yeah, I personally felt like the original replier was being cocky. So I said absolutely nothing about modders and last gen. Just talking about how I was joking about how the Snapmatic's being removed was worse than peyote plants, which really isn't. It's just a funny joke. Shit. The thigh, fuck. Shit, I can't really say the story time without fucking up, man. Shit. Alright, I might be on this stream another hour now because of that. Damn it. Fuck that up, man. Shit. I was so into telling my Twitter story that happened yesterday. That fucking crashed and died. Because it's hard to commentate and keep track on the road at the same time. God damn it. Especially because the Rocket Voltic has such a fucking slow cooldown compared to other vehicles with boosts. Seriously, even more 2 boost might be a little faster, and that's saying a lot. At least when you're on the ground. So hopefully I can remember where the fuck I left off on. Yeah, going back to that one section. Going back to that one section of that Twitter story I'm mentioning. That happened yesterday. That one dude was claiming I was cocky. By the way, I deleted all the tweets because honestly it wasn't even worth my time. I just feel like certain people are quite unreasonable in this fucking community. But yeah, that dude was claiming I was cocky, yet the way that person replied to me felt cocky in the first place. And then you're like all going on kind of playing victim and shit. Seriously, anything I'm trying to say right now. Since, like I said, I did delete the tweets, so I might forget about some of it. I don't know, I might just start the fortified first. Oh, I have to wait, come on. So I might go to the 2.5 hour mark, just doing fortified and whatnot. But yeah, some dude has the audacity to say I was being the cocky one and shit. Yet, fucking yet, the way that the person replied to my tweet kind of suggested cockiness to begin with. I don't care what people think, I don't think I was in the wrong at all. The only reason I deleted my tweets was, I'll get into it a little bit, which was quite weird and ironic. Actually, before that, that one person that made the initial reply, so I didn't take the comment really lightly, because honestly, I don't think I should have, honestly. I was all saying I was insecure and shit. But seriously, I felt like the dude was trying to claim I didn't know shit about the fucking game for some reason. Kinda sure that's what the person was going for. So yeah, I'll basically go into my fortified strategy. Try to find where I need to go first of all. One of these bridges basically go underneath, or something kind of looks like a bridge, but it's not on the map, I guess. But yeah, like I said earlier with Armored Boxville, when I was going over all the VIP works and kind of some strategies for some of them. Yeah, in here, when you go over to this part, you want to go in here, to the underground section here. And then you want to go into the, like, right section, and then over here goes into that, like, one underground area from, like, the first, like, single player heist. And then, yeah, you'll be completely invulnerable, basically, to the enemies that spawn as part of this VIP work. And then you can go through, like, the first thing. If for some reason you're in a public lobby, you might want to go for the first thing of this. And the second one you can't go through with the Armored Boxville for some reason. I find it shocking you can go through the first one. But alright. So yeah, I basically have 7 minutes to think about what I was going to say with the Twitter story. So yeah, I commented a joke about how the Snapmatic going away for last gen is going to be worse than the peyote plans, which obviously is not the case. Peyote plans going away is a lot bigger than something on last gen, uploading Snapmatics and leaderboards going away December 2nd. And then yeah, the one dude, the original person who commented on there was like, do you even play last gen? Like, did you even play last gen? Mars are like all over the place on there. Low. And then yeah, maybe I took it too seriously. Yeah, maybe, just maybe I took it too seriously. And maybe the person really wasn't trying to be an asshole. But the way it was worded made it seem like he thought I wasn't, like, intelligent enough or something to know what I was even talking about. I'm trying to think of the exact words, but I got it, like, earlier. I mentioned that part earlier. Like, basically, dude felt like the dude was, like, undermining my intelligence and was kind of trying to claim I didn't play the fucking last gen version of the game. But yeah, I replied, oh yeah, and stole my intelligence, I mean. But yeah, I replied, being like, are you actually trying to install my intelligence and shit? And then some other dude fucking comes in, gets his business involved with it. Fucking calling me cocky or something. Yeah, I could argue that one dude was being cocky to begin with, since he was kind of claiming that I didn't play the last gen version. Even if it was a simple statement, which I kinda doubt. But that's what people think, apparently. That's, of course, all the other people were getting sided with for some reason. And then, like, that, like, the original commenter then replied to that, being like, I was all, like, insecure and shit, like, nah, I was just calling you out, because I don't like people making false statements on me, claiming that I didn't play last gen or something. It was just fucking really stupid, to be honest. Don't understand why the original, like, replier replied the way he did. And then it was, like, a lot back and forth between me and, like, the person who replied to the original replier's reply or whatever. Yeah, it was a lot back and forth between me and, like, the second person who was replying to me. And I went against that person and then, like, the original replier even more. And all hell kind of broke loose and shit. And then I blocked the second dude, because, honestly, I don't fucking want to deal with people who are gonna fucking just undermine what I say and shit. I want to check Google Chrome again, see if anything else has happened. Though I did delete the tweets, because, honestly, I don't even care about them anymore. Yeah, basically my perspective is a lot of fucking hypocrisy on the other side of this argument I'm explaining. Yeah, I kind of mentioned enough of it. I'm not very good at explaining things. I'm just basically trying to explain as best as I can. Though, like I said, it doesn't matter because I deleted the tweets because, like, I don't really care anymore. And I blocked the two as well. Because they were all... Because one of them was trying to claim they weren't being, like, cocky and stuff. Yet he basically started by replying to me. Okay, yeah. Okay, maybe, yeah, the original replier wasn't trying to be cocky, but the way the tweet was worded came out like that. And then when I get like a lot of hate in this like fucking community over my voice and shit, had like 3 or 4 comments within my whole YouTube, like within me doing this whole YouTube channel, of people complaining about my voice and shit. So I do kind of react to that because people just really love to start random shit with me. I'll be quite honest, both on YouTube and Twitter, kind of. And that's not even the first time on Twitter as well. There's been a couple other times people randomly start shit and overreact over fucking nothing on me as well. Anyways, why did I delete the tweets or whatever? Because apparently my fucking one of the sources I use one of the sources I promote when it comes to doing my fucking Red Dead Online collectible streams, Cali Meat Wagon. When I do my Red Dead Online collectible streams, I mention Cali Meat Wagon's a good Twitter to follow if you want to keep up to date on Madame Nazar's location. Apparently that person fucking commented or replied onto my tweet. So I was like, fuck this shit. After walking over to people, I'm like, I'm just straight doing these tweets. Like these replies. Because I feel like people took it way out of context for no fucking reason and shit. But then one of my own sources I fucking use on like my videos and like shout out and promote, of course, since they do a good job sharing Madame Nazar's location. Literally replied to it as well. And took their side, of course. I don't really care if I overreacted to it. I think it definitely could have been worded better. The original reply was tweets. By the way, their tweets are still available on Tezju's tweet about the leaderboards and this Snapmatic going away on December 2nd. Still, all this done, and I didn't want to deal with fucking people overreacting over the dumbest fucking things. Okay, yeah, I kinda did it too, but I feel like the original reply is starting that. But no, people think I'm the cocky one, apparently. People just love to randomly hate on me on YouTube and Twitter. And I swear, a bunch of the typical people in this community are such bad actors, I swear, man. So many fucking bad actors in the game, it fucking sucks, man. So many bad actors in the GTA and Red Dead communities. Wish it was a more positive community. Gets an M-rated game, it doesn't mean people have to be so toxic in the communities. Like, Jesus Christ. Fucking hate when people are so unnecessarily toxic, and especially the GTA and Red Dead communities. I've kind of seen it in the PlayStation community and the Nintendo community. I've kind of seen it as well. I'm not sure on the Xbox community, but shit, man. There's just so many people that overreact fucking nothing on. Yeah, that overreact to like nothing on the internet. I had a time on Twitter where I replied to like Foxy Snaps or something when like the Red Dead Online servers went down for PS4 while I was streaming. And then I was just mentioning how it sucked how they went down while I was streaming because I streamed so late and had such an ironic time. One person really got angry at me for that of all fucking things. Just claiming that my stream was impacted by the servers going down, kind of. And then some douchebag uses a fucking argument, you have 16 followers, fuck off, when it comes to my YouTube. Like, just cause I have a small amount of fucking followers on Twitter or like subscribers on YouTube doesn't mean I don't have a right to fucking criticize a fucking corporation. Like, so many people fucking do that. Why don't you fucking complain to everyone that does that? Better yet, you probably fucking criticize companies yourself. And you probably expect people not to overreact over nothing and give you shit for stuff as well. I don't know, I just really gotta stop replying to stuff like that, to be honest. So many fucking downers trying to bring people down in this fucking world. I'll do a plowed one, not. Yeah, I can't believe one of my own fucking sources I fucking credit on my fucking Red Dead Online collectible streams I mentioned throughout my streams were a good source for finding Madame Nazar every time she moves. Fucking found her way to my fucking tweet and replied to it as well. I was just some fucking crazy ironic ass shit, man. Kinda wanna get on the dude's good side though, cause it's not gonna be all bad, cause someone like Kelly Meatwagon fucking replied to my shit. And I don't even follow him still, cause obviously he's still a useful source, and I'm not gonna deny that, because I don't like what he said to me. I just might try to find a different source to credit for that kind of stuff now, I don't know. I'm not gonna say the dude's not credible anymore though. I'm not gonna try like discrediting a person like I feel like the other person was doing to me. But anyways, that's some like way past like Twitter drama, even though it only happened yesterday, less than 24 hours ago. Because of the fact that I deleted tweets basically irrelevant now. So I think I'll just focus on the game and more positive things for the rest of the stream. For the last like 25 minutes or so. To be fair though, I think Kelly Meatwagon actually had a point compared to Sonny Evans though. Fucking Sonny Evans was actually defending fucking Steam not being Red Dead Redemption 2 PC. How the fuck do you defend a platform not getting a game for a whole month? It's not something all that usual. Like you use like a mode that's not available for a month, I get that, but you're gonna not have a fucking whole game on a platform for a whole month. Okay, in some ways it's quite usual, but for Red Dead Redemption 2, no it's not. I'm talking about games like Sony pays exclusive for. Like, those make sense for timed monthly exclusives, or like yearly game exclusives. When a company like Sony pays a company to keep a game exclusive to your platform for a certain amount of time. Rockstar though, I feel like T2 fucking chose to fucking let Epic Games have it for a whole fucking month. Yeah, like I said earlier, I was gonna stop talking about that, but I should definitely do so now. I still could have stopped about Sonny Evans though. Like, how the fuck do you defend Red Dead Redemption 2 not coming to Steam for a month extra? That's way beyond me. Like, when a company wants their game to sell in as many places as possible, that makes more sense. Unless they get paid off by Epic, which I don't think was the case for Red Dead Redemption 2. It's probably just scummy fucking Take-Two who already made that decision. So many unreasonable people in this world, though. That's basically my whole point on this rant, by the way. Yeah, hopefully I won't do that, like, ever again. The rant stuff that I did there. It's not really something I like to do, for sure. Since I just like to game and, like, chill out on here and on this channel and stuff. I don't care how someone tries to bring me down or something. Yeah, I don't care how hard someone tries to bring me down. I'm gonna do the best I can to keep this channel growing, for sure. Especially when I find time to make content. Since right now I can't find much time to do that, besides for streams. I wonder if you can actually make that with a Phantom Wedge. That would be pretty fucking funny. Obviously, I would be dumb to try on here, though. Speaking of the Epic Games Store, Epic's really fucking scummy with their fucking tactics on the digital distribution bullshit between them and Steam. Honestly, I don't feel like Epic will. I feel like Steam wins no matter what fucking Epic tries to do. Time exclusives or total exclusives or anything. If seriously you've already criticized fucking Steam, you should probably update your user interface, because I haven't heard such good news about the Epic Game Store user interface. I don't see who they think they are to criticize Steam. Oh shit, I might be dead. Oh. Barely. Oh, I can do another velocity. Especially since I'm not going on like my first ever like rant on this channel necessarily. On stream at least. I hope I would do good on this one. I think I'll just end off here, to be honest with the stream. I don't care once I'm done with this. Wait, if only I got to do the stream a couple hours earlier, because I pretty much fell fucking asleep, like, a couple hours before I started this. I meant to start this a couple hours ago, before the stream even started. Yeah, definitely the strategy for this one is just going to highways and not even use the boost, I would say. Yeah, hopefully I win this one, and I should. Since I'm not on like a big rant and whatnot, where I won't be able to like just be distracted and whatnot. And actually after the stream I might try to upload my La Fuente Blanca RC Bandito Time Trial Guide. Because I only have a little bit of the text tutorial to work on now. And then I'll be caught up for this week on the RC Bandito Time Trial. As long as I release the little soul park, as long as I release that one during this event week, I'll basically be caught up. Speaking of time trials, actually, I think I've heard like a rumor or something going around. Apparently there's supposed to be some new time trials or something like that still coming out. I don't know if that's true, but I think I've heard something about like apparently like new time trials coming out. Don't know if it's more Bandito ones or if it's like more normal ones or like both even, or a whole different thing of time trials. But yeah, if the like mentions of like the survival and King of the Hill crater were actually came true, which it did, then I wouldn't be surprised. Pretty sure I heard there might still be new time trials at some point that come out eventually. Yeah, gee, no, I've been using boost. I'm probably gonna get through like this whole highway since I started. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention those people. Those like couple people that were applying to me, not calling me wagon though, was saying was claiming I was fucking toxic. Like, nah, I wasn't. I was just, I just didn't want any false statement. I don't want the person getting away with like a false statement or some shit. Claiming that I didn't play last game, kind of. Oh shit. Oh shit. Jeez. Ooh, goddamn stupid fucking vehicle, man. surprised I didn't fuck up, to be honest. Definitely really want to invite a casino, though. Yeah, come on. Hell no. That ain't happening. Bunch of downhill bullshit, so nice. Okay, yeah, this does pay exactly the same as Fortified. And you can even make the time. Yeah, this does indeed pay the same amount as Fortified. In fact, it can even go faster than Fortified if you have another player that collects like air checkpoints, I believe. Yeah, I believe I watched a professional do a velocity or something. And like one of his friends was collecting like air checkpoints while he was driving a Voltic or something. So I guess it adds air checkpoints if you do it with another person to decrease some time for the Rocket Voltic. But imagine it would still pay you 70k. So that's why I would say it's better than Fortified. As long as you don't crash and blow up like I did the first time. Almost the second time too. So like I'd probably do much better on that kind of thing off stream, of course. But yeah, those two people were trying to claim I was toxic, but I was being toxic, but I was not. I was just defending myself. Quite simply, that's the only intention I meant to do. I think the other two were more toxic for kind of starting with me in the first place. But yeah, that's probably going to be it for the stream. Thank God, because I can put this Twitter thing aside, hopefully. Hope you enjoyed.